Hello there. My name is LaVerne Denise, and I wanted to talk to you about two things actually. I want to describe who I am, and I want to tell you what I do. I am a happily single hypnotist. The first part is really who I am. I am a single woman. And the beauty of that statement, society puts labels on all of us, unfortunately. And when you think of a single individual, you think of someone who is not married, not in a relationship, and society has this negative connotation about being single, that you're not enough, that you're not fulfilled, that there's something wrong with you, or that you're damaged, or that you're angry, or that you can't get a partner in life. So whatever those negative connotations are, I just wanted to encourage you to always be mindful of what you whisper in your own ear when it comes to your singleness. Because here's the good news. We are all single. I don't think very many people who are married or in a relationship view themselves as single. But the reality is, we are all single individuals. You were born as a single individual. Doesn't matter if you're a twin or a triplet, you're born one at a time. We are born one at a time as single individuals. The way you navigate life, you do it singly. It doesn't matter if you are in a big family, if you're in a relationship, if you're married. Doesn't matter if you're surrounded by people, you have a lot of friends, and you're busy in different you have a lot of social activities. None of that matters when it comes to who you are. We're all single individuals. Have you ever heard people say, or maybe you've even experienced this on your own, that you could be surrounded by friends and family or at a big social event, and deep down you feel a sense of loneliness or emptiness? That is your singlehood or your singleness crying out to you and letting you know that you have to embrace, you have to be comfortable in your singleness. That's a perfect example of how we're all single individuals. So again, it doesn't matter who you're connected with, who's in your life, whether you're married, whether you're in a relationship or not. We're all single individuals. And the goal is to get to the point where you can appreciate and embrace your singleness. It's not always easy. Society tells us one thing, and sometimes we even fall prey to negative self-talk. We whisper those negative things and thoughts in our own ears. Sometimes we're our own worst enemy. And when you don't feel good about yourself as a single woman, as a single individual, guess what? It impacts all aspects of your life. It impacts your career. It impacts your relationships. And I think most devastatingly is that it impacts how you feel about yourself. It is so, so important that we embrace our singlehood, our individuality, our personhood. So that's what I want to encourage everyone watching this to do, is to learn to embrace your singleness. It's like a garment. It's like who you are. You take yourself with you everywhere you go in life. So it's so important that you practice self-love. It's so important that you learn to be comfortable in your own skin. It's so important that you understand that no one else in this world can complete you. No one else in this world can help you have a healthy self-esteem or a healthy relationship with yourself. Only you can do that. It's so important. Just because you're married or in a relationship, your significant other does not complete you. No one can make you happy except yourself. No one can fulfill you except yourself. Please remember that. My story is interesting. I've never been married. I don't have any children. I knew in my early 30s that based on my personality and the way I wanted to live my life, that it would be better for me to remain single. So I made a conscious decision to not get married or to have children. Now, I'm not going to, it may not be for everybody, but here I am over 30 years later. Actually, if you count my 20s when I was single as well, 40 years later, I've never been married. I don't have any children. And guess what? I also have no regrets about that decision. It was very important for me to maintain my independence. It was very important to be able to make major life decisions, where I would live, where I would work, where I would travel, whatever I wanted to do. It was important to me to have as much control over my life and those decisions as possible, because I know who I am as a woman and as a person. Now, I've had relationships, don't get me wrong. I've been in some really meaningful relationships, but I was always honest and upfront, and I told them I do not want to get married and I do not want to have children. Now, if they were not able to accept that or totally appreciate that, or they didn't believe me or whatever the case was, they soon learned that I was serious with them about that. It is so important that we learn to embrace ourselves, all of our faults and warts and shortcomings, and, just know yourself really, really well. Because how you feel about yourself, it permeates from you in the form of your energy or your vibe, whatever you want to call it. People can tell if you're unhappy, if you're angry, if you have low self-esteem, if you're needy and clingy, whatever it is. And that's a direct reflection on how you feel about yourself usually. Again, you can't do this overnight. If you have a healthy self-esteem and a healthy feeling about your singleness, despite who's in your life, if you can achieve that, then you're doing great. But a lot of women that I talk to are not happy as single individuals. Either they're not married and they want to be married, or either they're married or in a relationship, but they still feel that they're single. They still feel that they're not complete or happy. And that's because of who they are. That's because they haven't embraced their singleness. They haven't taken the time to develop their singleness so that they can be an entire, healthy, whole individual before you even interact with anybody else. So that's who I am. I am happily single. The second part is I am a hypnotist. I call myself the happily single hypnotist. And my vocation is that I am a licensed hypnotist. And what that means is I help people quiet the chatter of their conscious minds. We have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. So I help you quiet that chatter in your conscious mind, where only 10% of your memory is stored. Mostly everything you do day in and day out, we're pretty much on autopilot. We don't even have to think about it because we do it day in and day out. So I help you quiet down that conscious mind and open up your subconscious mind. That is where 90% of your memory is stored. Everything from your earliest childhood memory to something that maybe happened yesterday, but it had a major impact on you. All of your triumphs are there. All of the people who impacted you in some way and changed your life are there. Your memories of them are there. Unfortunately, any trauma, any tragedy, anything that was really difficult for you is stored deep within the recesses of our subconscious minds. And as a hypnotist, I help you access that information. And if it's a negative or a painful memory, I can give you tools and techniques to turn that around into something positive and change the trajectory of your life. But you have to put in the work and you have to be willing to do that. And hypnosis, basically, sometimes it has a negative connotation and people think that it is mind control, or maybe you've seen those videos of stage hypnotists where they call someone up from the audience and before you know it, that individual is barking like a dog or clucking like a chicken. That is not what I do. I use hypnosis purely in a therapeutic manner. And by that I mean, I help you access the power of your subconscious mind and give you tools and techniques and help you break old habits and create new habits so that you can overcome things like anxiety, insomnia, pain, low self-esteem, phobias, trauma, and even addictions like smoking or overeating. You know, basically anything that is causing you dis-ease in your body can be either dramatically reduced or completely eliminated using only the power of your subconscious mind. And that's why I love hypnosis. That's what drew me to hypnosis, because it's a natural, holistic modality that gives you tools and techniques to change your life, to heal your body, and even to change the way you feel about your singleness, you know, your place in the world, how you navigate in the world. All of that is a direct reflection of how you think about yourself, how you feel about yourself. And we should never let society dictate what those feelings should be. Some examples of hypnosis, just so you are a little more clear on that, would be daydreaming. Have you ever been in your car and you're cognizant, you're conscious, you know you're in a car, you're watching the traffic lights, you're watching the other cars, pedestrians, you know you're aware, but your mind is someplace else. You're thinking about something, you're visualizing and imagining something. And before you know it, you miss your turn or your exit. That is a perfect example of self-hypnosis. And believe it or not, most of us go in and out of self-hypnosis throughout the day without even thinking about it. Another example would be watching a movie or reading a book and you're so engrossed in it that someone could call your name and you don't even hear them the first time or the second time. And pretty soon they're shouting at you and then you snap out of it and you're like, oh, I didn't hear what you were saying. And it's obvious you didn't because you were in self-hypnosis. So that is an example of hypnosis. Meditation is another example of hypnosis. Prayer is another example of self-hypnosis. These are all natural states. There's no hocus pocus. There's no mind control. There's no evil connotations at all associated with hypnosis. So if you have any questions, if you want to, talk with me about it, that's fine. I'm perfectly willing to do that. You can direct message me. You can also visit my website, which is L for the first initial of LaVerne. So that's lhypnosis.com. So you can always go on my website, learn more about me, who I am and what I do, and leave a message for me there, and I'll happily get back to you. Again, I am a happily single hypnotist, and I certainly hope that I'm passionate about helping others, specifically women, embrace who they are as single individuals, and also on the therapeutic side, giving them the tools and the techniques and everything they need, everything they have within them, naturally and holistically, to improve the quality of their lives. Again, LaVerne Denise, and thank you so much.